Odin is with us! Hi, I'm Magnus, and I'm all yours. You can ask me anything and I will try to answer as correct as I can, and sorry for swearing. It's gonna happen.
Obviously, when you meet fans here, I'm sure they're very excited to share their favourite moments from Last Kingdom. I'm curious, both for your character and for the show as a whole, do you have either moments on set that are the most precious to you, or moments in the show itself that you just enjoy the most?
Yes to both, and I guess you want me to tell them.
Well, yeah,
why not? Well, yeah, I think for me the best or the most interesting or moment of shooting was in season 4. The whole thing about me, or Cnut, thinking that his son has been beheaded. All of that, shooting those scenes, and then totally destroying my own plan of taking England and just going for Utrecht. All of that was really something else. And when I read the script, I was so happy to have that emotional balance there as well. So it wasn't just this cunning. I wouldn't say baddie. He's a very ambitious guy. He has plans, but so it wasn't just manipulating and all that. There was also all of that into the story. So portraying that was really nice, and I think went fairly well as well. Even though it was 35 degrees Celsius outside in the sun, wearing furs and armors, it was crazy. But that was really nice. I think, and then there's one behind the scenes. We were shooting in season 3. Ragnar dies. Spoiler alert. Sorry. And he's lying dead on the stones. His burial. And I'm talking to Breda, asking her to lead with me. Saying something like, asking her to lead with me, and she says, "I thought you wanted to lead with blood hair." And then I say, yeah, but I don't want to bed blood hair. And at that moment, Tobias, who plays Ragnar, who's lying dead, just sits up and looks directly at us going, "Really, guys? Really? I'm right here. Right here." And then the whole cast just started laughing. That was something else. I really enjoyed working with Tobias. Yeah. My favourite character? Oh, that's a good one. I really enjoyed Basim, but also because Carlo Rota, a dear friend of mine now, was just brilliant and such a funny man, and he has like the perfect voice for that. And when we did all the motion capture in Montreal, we were like the main cast. We hung together for like 8 days a month for a year. So we really got to know each other, and knowing Carlo and that him pouring into this character was just, I think that was really great. But also Fulke, I think she's something else.
Absolutely fantastic to have you with us. You are blessed to be part of not one but 2 beloved franchises with Assassin's Creed and Last Kingdom. I guess as someone who's been lucky enough to be a part of them both, can you maybe tell us a little bit about why you think they both do have such huge appeal and your experiences working in them both?
Obviously because of the historic perspective, and also it's been, for the last couple of maybe 10 years, Vikings have been like the new deal, the new big deal. We had vampires, we had pirates, it's been Vikings, and I think we're still sort of riding that wave a little bit. I think it's coming down. I'm very excited to see what's going to be the next. And I've just been really happy to be part of that wave. So that's one answer. Also, in this franchise, but also in the whole Viking thing, there's a lot of people going out living as Vikings in Scandinavia, but all over the world, like getting big beards and dressing and making their own fur dresses and living half a year out in the woods. So a lot of people that I meet at conventions or just on the street will come up to me and go, "Oh man, I've been living there like you, and when you went to Gloucestershire, we did there, and I've been in a camp out there." You know, it's more than just watching a show. It's for some of them, it's like a calling, and also a lot of people have the Norse mythology perspective on it as well. So I think that's part of the deal, and then also because it's just some very good stories. Norse mythology is just pretty darn cool. Most popular line?
Yes.
That's actually not even a line really in the game, but it's in the trailer. So everybody has been going for Odin is with us. So Odin is with us! I've shouted that a lot and signed a lot with that. I think that's, other than that, there's so many. I've had people coming up, can you talk to me like that I'm the Raven Sunin, and talk to me like in that way, and there's a lot of stuff like that going on.
With you being in both the Last Kingdom and Assassin's Creed and all the Norse mythology that comes with that, have you become a fan of Norse mythology yourself as a result, or were you on first? Or?
I'm a Dane, so that's just part of our heritage, so to speak. That is in the schools. That is our stories, so that's our fairy tales. So I've been a fan of that from birth, so to speak. But I had to look quite deep into it when working on Cnut for the Last Kingdom. So a lot of my preparation for that I could just take with me for Assassin's Creed. But they gave me a book. What is the name for it? I can't remember the name. But they gave me a book about the Norse mythology by a American professor that opened some new doors to the whole thing that I actually didn't know. I thought, no, I know Odin. I know how but that was something deeper, and I really used that and got fond of some of the things again through making this. Is that an answer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Trying.
So I guess I would say, picking up on that point, you talked about this huge popularity for Viking culture, for Viking heritage. Can you talk about why, in the world we live in now, increasingly technologically driven and with all the other luxuries and safeties we have, the lifestyle and culture of this seemingly barbaric portion of history continues to capture our imagination and sort of inspire people so much?
Well, there's the weapons, obviously. And there's something about getting back to nature. Because there's so many cell phones, there's so much iPad screens all over, and you throw that away. You go onto the woods and you can chop down trees, or you can and you can shoot your own deer, and all of that. I think that is part of it. It's an escape. You see, there's so much mental health, so many mental health problems now, which partly is because of all social media and the phones and people not looking at the children anymore the same way as they did, because everybody's and the kids are on the phones as well, and there's so much loneliness. So getting rid of those and going out there and actually talk or sit at the fire and all of that could be an answer. But again, turn back to the stories. It's good stories. It's adventures. It's fairy tales, and there's no dragons. So it's not only fantasy. It makes it easier to swallow. You don't have and the White Walkers. I love the Game of Thrones, by the way, but my wife, I remember, she was like, I don't get it, all the White Walker stuff, and that it's weird because it feels unreal. But what about the dragons, love? No, that's all right. So you partly like fantasy, or it's just not the zombies? I don't know.
I've recently got into voice acting myself, and it's...
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. It's been very difficult going through that. What made you get into that yourself?
Well, I've been doing some of it in Denmark early on, making voices for cartoons and making speaks or doing radio dramas. But how I got into like the gaming part of it, I sort of stumbled into it because I did the Last Kingdom, and when they were looking for actors for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They were looking for Scandinavian actors, and they knew me from that show. So that's why they invited me to audition for it. At that point, it was an animated series called The Black Wolf Saga. 10 episodes shot in Canada. Like, oh yeah, that sounds fun. I'll audition for that. And then I sent them a self-tape, and then 3 weeks later, I think, my agent called me and said, hey, so they want you to come to London for like a selected few audition for this, and we can now see that it's Ubisoft that's producing it. So it might not be a series, but we still don't know. So I didn't know I was doing any voice acting at that point. But I went to London, and when I came into the room, David McDevitt, the narrative director of Assassin's Creed, greeted me going, hey Magnus, loved you in the Last Kingdom, and this is the next Assassin's Creed game. So that's like, okay, but it's a game, I'm auditioning for a game now. And then I auditioned for 2 days, and it went really well, and then I didn't hear anything for 2 months, which was like, didn't it go well? I don't know. And then they called me and asked if I wanted to jump on board, and I haven't looked back. So I think that was the way in, and that has opened some doors. So I've now done more stuff that I can't talk about because of NDAs signed with my blood all over the place, but that will come out at some point.